right, and next is William Scott Green from the University of Miami. Take it away, Bill.
She could have done it, by the way. She could have held it, she really could have. She would have been entrepreneurial, but she couldn't pull it off. First, I'd like to thank Michael for inviting the University of Miami and the Launchpad to be part of this event. I have to confess, I never thought of higher education as a niche business, but maybe it is, I don't know. Since I spoke a few minutes earlier in one of the question periods, let me summarize what we do in the Launchpad, say a few words about it, and then I hope you'll ask questions. At the University of Miami, we think uniquely, but certainly we think maybe the first in the nation, we treat entrepreneurship as a career path. And we talk to every student in the university when they come into the Topple Career Center about imagining their futures on a continuum. At one end of the continuum is working for someone else, and at the other end of the continuum is starting their own enterprise, for-profit or not-for-profit, and working for themselves, and every conceivable combination in between. The point of this exercise is to demystify entrepreneurship, to build it into a routine activity of learning, and also, in point of fact, we disconnect it from the classroom because it's part of their career planning, so it's a co-curricular activity. The director of the Launchpad is a brilliant young woman named Susan Amat, with whom I put this thing together, and her programs have been phenomenally successful. Because the Launchpad is part of the part of career counseling, it's built into orientation. So the first day of school, every first-year student hears about the Launchpad, hears about entrepreneurship, because we talk about career counseling and career counseling options. We started the Launchpad 3 years ago at the end of August. We thought we'd get 50 students. By the third month, we had 300 students, and now there are 1,700 students involved who filled out a form on our website. It's the largest single student activity at our university. The process is very straightforward. Students fill out a profile of themselves. They apply to become an accepted member, get on the website. They come into the Launchpad to talk to the Launchpad staff with whatever idea they have. As that discussion goes on, they will fill out a venture assessment form, which uses ordinary, everyday vernacular speech, no fancy business terms, to talk about what you want to build, what is your idea, what do you need, who's your market, and so on and so forth. Then they continue one-on-one consultation with a member of the Launchpad staff until the idea is really ready to be presented, and then we have a network of 60 venture coaches from the South Florida business community who volunteer 5 hours a month to work with our students and our alumni in helping them to develop their businesses. And there's a breakfast every month, and 2 or 3 incipient companies will go before the venture coaches and make their presentations, and the coaches will break themselves up into teams that continue to work with those students or those alumni who are starting their businesses. So everybody gets a kind of mini board very early on, and you're not just listening to one person giving advice. You've got people from the real business community who are giving multiple kinds of counsel. The idea is, because we're the only private research university in the state of Florida, we bring in lots of people from outside the state. It's in our interest and the community's interest for those students who want to start enterprises to start them here in South Florida and to bring them into the local community, and this gives them a network. The other thing it does is that it creates a network on campus among students. For example, we have 30 students or so who want to start fashion companies. We don't teach fashion, but the Launchpad can help them start their businesses. They meet one another, they talk, they learn, there's no other structure within which we could do this. So this is really the beginning of imagining a life. It's much more about educating the student than it is about starting the company. But in the first 2 years, the Launchpad generated 45 companies that created 102 jobs, which percentage-wise is not bad for one school in the first 2 years. We've gotten grants from the Kauffman Foundation helped us, the Bradley Foundation gave us some grants, the Fairholme Foundation, and the Blackstone Foundation has funded the Launchpad to take it to 2 universities in Detroit. So there are now Blackstone Launchpads at Wayne State University and Walsh College, and we're trying to replicate this model to see if we can, how it adapts to different campuses and different populations. But it hits students at a time when they're thinking about their lives. It makes it about them, it makes it about their futures, and it opens the world of entrepreneurship without any pressure, without any hype, to massive numbers of students who would never have thought of it otherwise. And our view is this: if in college, where we're supposed to be painting pictures of possibilities for young people to imagine futures they never contemplated at home, if we don't tell them, that is, we in college, their teachers, don't tell them that they can be entrepreneurs, who's going to tell them? Just at the time when they're beginning to lay the foundations for their careers. So that's the Launchpad story, and I thank you all for your interest.
Let's go, big hand.